Right, we have a virus situation that is so out of control in some countries that they're not only locking things down, but they're really pressing the case for people who haven't been vaccinated to be vaccinated. Now, Australia's locked down right through the 17th as this Delta variant you've heard so much about. They've even got that Delta variant plus. I don't know what the difference is, but it's more of a stiff strain. So they're actually now considering mandatory action for vaccinations in a country that isn't near the vaccination rate we are in this country. Separately, in France, they're exploring the idea of making sure all healthcare workers get vaccinated. You'd think that's a gimme, but apparently some healthcare workers are resisting. They want to make that an outright order that you have to. It's the law. And some in France are fearing that could get to be, I say fearing, some are just loath to this sort of thing, that the government might force the issue on other workers there as well. So it got us thinking, legally, can a government, can anyone do that? And is there a difference between a company that requires you've had your shots and a government requiring you have your shots? Seth Berenzweig is a business law attorney, a good one at that. So Seth, help me with this. I can understand my company demanding it. I have a problem with my government demanding it. Is there a difference?
There is a big difference. In the United States, and especially in light of the new program that the president outlined yesterday that's going from a regional to a more localized neighborhood-based level, the federal government does not currently have any federal programs or initiatives that require anyone to get the vaccine. In the United States, the only people who can be required or can enforce a requirement are employers for return to work. And as a practical matter, the only industry in the United States that's applying that across the board are healthcare workers. So, for example, hospitals. As you've correctly noted, Europe is really getting embroiled in this even more deeply now, because while we're doing pretty well here and we're essentially in the ninth inning in the United States on the fight against coronavirus and bringing the economy back up, it's fair to say that Europe is probably roughly in the third inning. So they're looking at new measures and requirements that are extremely controversial.
Now, I don't know what the case was with the polio vaccines and, in the early 1900s and what have you, but the fact of the matter was that a lot of people, long before there were vaccine suspicions, got it, especially those who were dealing with it. So it wasn't such a debate. Now it is. And now a lot of people who have not been vaccinated say, I'm fine. There seems to be herd immunity. Is that a legal excuse? In other words, can you, if anyone is pressing this, if you just said, I don't think I'm going to get it, or I'm young and bulletproof, I don't think I'll ever have it.
So in the United States, in the private employment sector, it is not an excuse to say that they don't want to take this novel virus if the private employer requires it as a precondition for return to the office. As a practical matter, most private employers are encouraging but not mandating vaccination, except the healthcare industry. But you're absolutely right. We're really in a different ballgame right now. There's not permanent FDA authorization. It's emergency use authorization. Here in the United States, there is skittishness, but it's going along much better. In Europe, it's been really somewhat of a debacle. AstraZeneca was temporarily put on hold by the EU. There was a concern about blood clotting. Then it was taken off and put back online. Many healthcare workers in Europe are very upset. Italy has been leaning forward and in the forefront of requiring healthcare workers to get vaccinated. And as you've correctly indicated, the UK and France are looking seriously at that requirement. In Britain, there is a new requirement that all healthcare workers get vaccinated within a time frame of 4 months. In France, there's a new law that says that if a healthcare center is not 80% vaccinated by September, there's a new requirement that triggers in. So look for a lot of bumpiness and turbulence ahead on this emerging issue.
I hear you. Seth, thank you very much. Seth Berenzweig, business law attorney. I follow this stuff very, very closely, legalities, what have you.